everyone. Welcome to the 12 Days of LiDAR. My name is Alex Billick, and I'm excited to get an opportunity to share some information with you. So let's get started. So, what is the purpose of this? Well, I'm a remote sensor geospatial analyst by training, forester by training as well, and I look at the every November the map challenge, and I think, man, I would love to do that, but I am just not a cartographer. I can make some maps, but mine are pretty functional over form. So I thought, how could I maybe share some of what I've learned with the larger geospatial community and maybe inspire some other folks to do the same thing? So I thought, this would be kind of a fun way to do that. So who is this for? Well, really, this is to provide a very light introduction to the world of LiDAR. The goal is to help those who have maybe heard the term and don't know much else understand a little bit more of the nuance of what's going on, and maybe those who have know this really intimately and know a lot more than I do. My goal for you folks is to maybe show you one thing you've never seen before. So hopefully that's the case. What I'm going to do today is show you an overview of the topics I plan to cover, and then starting tomorrow, you can open that advent calendar and count down the 12 days of LiDAR, with the last one coming out on Christmas Day. So let's get into the schedule. What I'm planning to do is cover off, starting off with the basics of an introduction to LiDAR. So, what are the different formats it can come in? What are the different types? What happens for storage of this stuff when we talk about those different formats? Point densities, all these kind of the lingo. You've heard a lot of terms around LiDAR. My goal is to maybe try and provide a bit of a dictionary for folks so that you know what's going on. Day two, we're going to get into typical LiDAR derivatives. This is again kind of building on the lingo. So you've heard DTM, DSM, CHM, canopy height model, slope. We're going to look at exactly what those are and at a very high level how they're made. This is not, here's the code. It's not that kind of a tutorial. This is more understanding if you're using those tools, or you're using those data products, how was it made? And what are some of the assumptions going into those data layers. Um, then we move on to day three, which is LiDAR classes and classification. So when you open up LiDAR, depending on the software you're using, it can be colorized a variety of different ways. One of those is by classes. So we're going to go into what those are, discussing the standards around those, how is LiDAR classified, and then some looking at some good and bad classification. Day four is LiDAR viewers. This is going to be a cross section of a variety of different free software packages for being able to look at LiDAR point clouds. So you've downloaded it. You want to take a look at it. That's the goal there, is to be able to actually open some of this data. Day five, we're going to get into area-based inventory. This is definitely forestry specific. Also, the term EFI will apply here. We're going to go into very basics of what area-based inventories are from a forestry perspective, and again walk through at a very, very high level how do we go from field data plus LiDAR to some kind of a product that you're using as a forest manager. Then we're going to get into ArcGIS Pro and LiDAR, discussing some of the pros and cons there. How do you work with it? What are some of the trade-offs when you're working with ArcGIS Pro with LiDAR data? Then QGIS and LiDAR. This is all going to reflect versions of the software that are current as of December the 12th, 2023. So we're going to be going through what QGIS can do with LiDAR, how it plugs into some of the other tools that will come after it, like LAST tools and Fusion, and again, some of the pros and cons. Then we're going to talk about Fusion LDV in LiDAR on day 8 here. Again, more of a forestry specific one, but it still has some fantastic applications outside of forestry as well. Day 9, we're going to talk about R, specifically the LiDAR package and LiDAR, going through that and pointing you to some great resources if that's something you'd like to learn. Then we'll get into LAST tools in LiDAR. What is it? What are the open source portions of it? What are the closed source portions of it? And how you can use it. We're also going to look at another viewer that they have a little bit more detail called Last Look. Then cover terrestrial LiDAR. This will also touch on the idea of mobile LiDAR. I'm just using this as a catch-all. But we'll look at LiDAR from the side perspective. and see what's going on in that space. And then finally, I'm kind of wrestling with this. I'm going to give myself the ability to be flexible on day 12. It's either going to be other types of point clouds, whether that's photogrammetrically derived, but it could also dive into a little bit of the future of LiDAR, where this technology is going, and maybe we'll touch on mining too. So stick around, and I hope that you, at least at the end of this, learn something. Please drop a comment if this is something that you're interested in. And if you're someone that knows this stuff intimately, or knows another space that you could share some knowledge, maybe take up the challenge of a 12 days of, and put some little tutorial videos out to try and share that knowledge around. Thanks a lot for listening, and hope you enjoy this series.